What is going on, guys? It is WrestleGamia here, back with another video. WWF No Mercy was released at the height of the Attitude Era all the way back in 2000 on the Nintendo 64, and since then its legend has grown amongst gamers and wrestling fans to the point where it's now regarded by many to be the greatest wrestling game of all time, perhaps only challenged by the mighty SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. You can certainly discuss which one is your favourite, or if there's a third option we're forgetting in the comments down below, but one thing that's for certain is that No Mercy's popularity and reputation has seen it take on a life of its own that's still growing to this day, a full 20 years after its initial release. Fans of the game have spent the last 2 decades keeping the game alive for a whole new generation of gamers through the extensive modding community. Some of these are absolutely phenomenal and manage to overhaul the entire game, making it feel brand new to play again. We'd even argue that some are better than the recent WWE games, especially 2K20. Okay, we'll admit that one was low-hanging fruit. Anyway, be sure to subscribe and click that notification bell, because today we're looking at 5 of the best WWF No Mercy Overhaul mods. Number 1. WWF Legends. Okay, as far as quality goes, this collective effort mod made by Icotrax, Orson, FTW Jamie, WLDFB, WWE Fan for Life 2, Mike Hollow, Jazz and Outlaw 21 is one of the most impressive total conversions made for the game. The authenticity and time it took to create these mods is absolutely incredible. From the start screen to the arenas, the modders have paid close attention to the old school theme of the World Wrestling Federation during the late 80s. Firstly, let's just look at the arenas in the game. They're absolutely flawless. They range from the WWF Superstars Arena, Madison Square Garden house shows, and include the big 4 pay-per-views of WrestleMania 5, the Royal Rumble, SummerSlam and Survivor Series, not to mention the addition of WrestleMania 3. There are also 2 secret arenas that include Wrestling Challenge and the very rare one-off WWF Superstars being held at the London Arena in 1989. Though the roster is admittedly smaller than most of the mods on this list, the amount of hard work that went into each one is evident. Hogan, The Warrior, The Undertaker, Jake Roberts, Rick Rude, King Haku are all there to name a few, as well as a few jobbers to decimate on Saturday night's main event. Each superstar that you can choose from has 4 attires and include managers from the past. What makes this mod stand tall above the rest is its addition of adding theme music for each wrestler, and also having commentary during the match from Gorilla Monsoon and Jesse the Body Ventura. As some of you know, in the base game, commentary wasn't included, so this increases the levels of authenticity. With the disappointment of the Legends of WrestleMania game and the Legends of Wrestling series, this mod is so good that it could patch up that empty nostalgia hole, and it's sure to satisfy. Number 2. WCW Feel the Bang. Even though WWE owns the rights to the WCW name etc., we're sure that they'll never include a WCW showcase in future WWE games, apart from maybe having the Nitro stage available. Fans can still get a chance to play the highly acclaimed WCW vs NWO Revenge game, but the graphics haven't aged very well. Also on top of that, the last few WCW games weren't incredible, ranging from the mediocre to the downright awful. Fear not though, as the modders of WCW Feel the Bang have got you covered. This mod is a complete overhaul of the game, featuring new menus, backgrounds, arenas, and of course a massive roster of WCW talent around 1998 with the wrestlers' specific movesets. They include Goldberg, the NWO, the Cruiserweights, and a few legends from the past like Vader, Ron Simmons, and Dusty Rhodes. These wrestlers are all unlocked from the start, but some wrestlers like the Ultimate Warrior are locked. To unlock them and have new features, you will have to complete the game's challenges, where you will have to perform a specific task to unlock the wrestler, and some can be pretty challenging. For example, in order to unlock Eddie Guerrero, you have to win a 4-way elimination match against Jushin Liger, Juventud, and Ultimo Dragon on hard difficulty. The challenges are a great way to extend replayability, but who should be complaining when it's a free game? Of course, not only that, but Feel the Bang includes a huge number of arenas with not 1, not 2, but 3 pages of iconic WCW arenas, which include 1997's Halloween Havoc, 1994's Bash at the Beach, Starrcade 97, as well as different Nitro and Thunder stages respectively. We can't say enough about how well the modders programmed this game, but to show you the amount of attention gone into small details, if you have a match between Hogan and Nash, you can actually do the finger poke of doom. Simply amazing. Number 3. NXT Takeover. NXT is one of the hottest brands going in wrestling today, featuring some of the best in-ring wrestling in the world. We're looking at Yu Gargano and Cole trilogy, as well as having great back-to-basics booking that makes for a consistently fun and logical 2 hours every week, and even lately has started to give AEW a run for its money in the ratings. Of course, that's not every week. It's amazing that WWE have managed to successfully have their cake and eat it too by being the global behemoth that they are, while also having what amounts to the best super indie out there. The NXT mod of No Mercy manages to do a brilliant job of mixing the old with the new, taking the N64 graphics and gameplay aesthetics that make so many gamers nostalgic, and slotting them in a new and exciting NXT roster for an experience that we would argue may actually be more fun to play than the original N64 game. It runs on the Project 64 emulator and has been developed by Twitter user Tyler Black Mods, who is still posting regularly about any updates he's making to it, and for those interested in the mod, be sure to check his Twitter page out. One of the best in these is the recent inclusion of Adam Cole's Bebe taunt with full sound effects. As well as featuring the current NXT roster, it also includes playable versions of NXT Legends of the past like Kevin Owens, The Revival or Ricochet, who each have 4 different ring gear options just to give you a sense of kind of detail that's been put into this. It is the most recent mod on this list, the final version having only been released on New Year's Day this year, so we're sure that there'll be a lot added to this as time goes on, and that fans will still have a lot to discover by playing about with it. We recommend you get a hold of this one as quickly as possible because we think it's one of the best ones out there. Number 4. Forever Indy. While NXT may lay claim to being the super indie of the wrestling world today, there was a time when WWE routinely ignored what they considered to be the minor leagues of wrestling in favor of their own in-house developmental system, which gave us the absolute worst of the mid-2000s WWE roster. Thankfully, things have changed with Triple H's rise to power and the likes of CM Punk and Daniel Bryan showing what they could do in the company. But even back then, despite being ignored by WWE, the independent scene was thriving, as fans who lived through it will remember, and this mod shows the best that it had to offer at the time. It's one of the older mods on this list, being released way back in 2007, and it features wrestlers from the biggest independent promotions of the time like Ring of Honor, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, and Chikara. It's an impressive roster overall, and it captures the look and feel of those promotions at the time, now serving to give us a nice dose of nostalgia for the recent past. Playing it now also gives gamers a look back at how much the wrestling industry has altered and how much these promotions were involved in changing it to its very core, since many of the wrestlers here, including the likes of AJ Styles and Seth Rollins, are now on the WWE payroll and are arguably the biggest stars in the world. It makes us wonder who the stars of the next decade will be. And number 5, Showdown 64. This one truly is the mod to end all others, and the amount of time and effort that must have gone into it is absolutely staggering. If there are any mods that deserve to make it on the N64 console itself, then it's this one. Dwarfing everything that came before it, this one, which was created by Akai Evolution, a reference to the engine the game runs on, and is titled Showdown 64. It features 295 playable wrestlers from pretty much all companies and eras under the sun. Seriously, there are WWE legends like Roddy Piper and the Ultimate Warrior, as well as NWA staples like Harley Race and Ric Flair here. There are also characters from all 3 big companies of the Monday Night Wars, and from here the roster stretches all the way out to modern day WWE, TNA and AEW. There's also a strong women's division, and the inclusion of New Japan legends like Antonio Inoki and the Great Muta. This may be your only chance to play out here to an unthought of 4-way match featuring the likes of Kenny Omega, Roman Reigns, Kazuchika Okada, and Tommy Dreamer. Yeah, we'll admit that's a weird combination, but it's still possible. On top of all this there are match types that weren't even available in the original game like Hell in a Cell and Deathmatch, and just about every arena skin we can think of can be used here. We're seriously struggling to think of anything they've left out here. It even features different animations for characters selling their Stone Cold Stunner depending on who it is. It's so exhaustive that it almost negates the need for any more mods in the future, but we're sure that won't stop the fans going even further to make the game do things that the original developers surely never dreamed of. At this rate, people will probably still be playing new mods of this game in 2030 and beyond. But there you have it guys, a look at 5 of the best WWF No Mercy Overhaul mods. Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling video game content.